My friend, our legs are the most loyal companions we'll ever have. They've carried us through every season of life, from those shaky childhood steps to the long, meaningful journeys of our later years. But somewhere after 60 years old, our legs begin sending us quiet signals. Signals that aren't loud, aren't dramatic. But if you listen closely, you'll hear your body whispering, "I'm getting tired. Could you take care of me a little more?" I still remember a winter morning in my clinic when Harold, 72 years old, walked in with a slightly slower stride. He sighed and said, "James, nothing hurts. But these legs just don't feel like the legs I used to have." And I understood him more than he realized. Weak legs don't happen in a day. They happen slowly, through small wobbles, through standing up a little slower, through that moment when you actually have to think before you lift your foot. But here's the beautiful truth: the body always has the ability to recover. Your legs can regain strength if you notice these signals early and nourish them the right way. In today's video, I want to guide you through 7 quiet warning signs that many people overlook, and more importantly, help you understand how to bring back strength, confidence, and stability in every step you take. Because I truly believe no one is meant to live with weak legs. Sometimes your legs are simply waiting for you to care for them the right way. Sign number 1. You start feeling clumsy doing movements that used to feel natural. My friend, maybe you have had this moment. You bend down to pick something off the floor or turn your body to close a door, and suddenly you realize you are not as smooth as you used to be. No sharp pain, no alarming stiffness, just a slight awkwardness, as if your body is trying to tell you something, but gently. So many patients have told me the same thing. Lois, 72 years old, once said, "James, I feel like an old clock. It still works, but the hands don't move smoothly anymore." And I told her what I want to tell you now. That's your joints whispering that they're getting tired. After 60, joint fluid decreases, cartilage thins, and the muscles around the joints, the quiet protectors, begin to weaken. Movements that once felt effortless now feel slower, heavier, less precise. You turn more carefully. You stand up more slowly. Your first step in the morning feels a little stiff. The interesting thing, most people ignore this signal. They assume they're just tired or slept wrong, or it's just age. But after 30 years in medicine, I can tell you with complete confidence, the speed and smoothness of your movement is one of the earliest clues to joint health. Take a moment and ask yourself, have I had to slow down certain movements lately? Is anything not as fluid as it used to be? If the answer is yes, don't worry. This isn't the end. It's an invitation. An invitation to listen, to care, to begin rebuilding the flexibility your body still remembers. Sign number 2. Your body hesitates when you stand up. Your back or hips need a few seconds to stabilize. My friend, maybe you've had this experience. You stand up from a chair and your body seems unprepared. Your back pauses, your hips feel a little loose, your knees take a few seconds to find their footing. No real pain, but not true stability either. I call it the body's 5 seconds of silence. A small signal, but meaningful. Patrick, 72 years old, described it perfectly. "James, I'm not hurting. I'm just slower than I think I should be." And I looked at him and said gently, "Patrick, that's not age. That's your body asking for better care." When the muscles around the hips and thighs weaken, your knees and spine lose support. The joints stop coordinating perfectly. Standing up becomes a task that requires effort instead of something automatic. Sometimes it even means the ligaments around your joints are losing elasticity, like an old rubber band stretched too many times. But here's what I want you to remember: the body always gives you a chance to recover, especially when the warnings are still gentle. Whenever I evaluate a patient, I ask one simple question: is standing up becoming easier or harder lately? That single answer reveals more about leg strength, hip stability, and spinal health than most tests. If you recognize this sign in yourself, treat it as a soft, compassionate reminder. Your body isn't failing. It's asking you to walk beside it, not ahead of it. Sign number 3. You're slowly losing flexibility in movements you used to do easily. My friend, have you ever bent down to tie your shoes and suddenly realized your body just doesn't follow the way it used to? No sharp pain, no severe stiffness, just a small resistance, like something inside you is quietly holding you back. Daniel, 72 years old, once told me, "James, I can't bend as deeply anymore. I can't twist my back the way I used to. It doesn't hurt, but something feels off. And I knew exactly what he meant. This is one of the most subtle signals the body gives when joints, muscles, and ligaments begin to weaken. Flexibility doesn't disappear overnight. It fades little by little through tiny movements no one notices until one day you realize that simple motions now require effort. Think of your joints as the hinges on a door. If they aren't moved, stretched, or lubricated, they stiffen silently. Before they make noise, before they hurt, they quietly lose range of motion. Daniel started doing gentle morning stretches, and after a few weeks he returned with a softer smile. James, I don't know how much stronger my back is, but I feel younger, and that's the truth. Your body speaks long before it cries. And our job, your job, is to listen. Flexibility isn't something only young people have. It's a gift your body can give you again if you begin nurturing it today. Sign number 4, you no longer fully trust your legs even though they don't hurt. My friend, this is one of the most emotional signals older adults share with me. It's not pain, not stiffness, not numbness. It's a feeling deep inside, I don't fully trust my legs anymore. I remember Raymond, 76 years old, a retired teacher. He told me with a voice as soft as a confession, James, nothing hurts. But when I step over a threshold, I wobble. It feels like my legs aren't completely mine. That sentence stayed with me for a long time. Because for decades, our legs are silent companions carrying us through storms, celebrations, routines, and everything in between. But eventually, as joints weaken, as muscles thin, as balance decreases, the legs begin to hesitate. It's the body sending a message. Please pay attention. I'm getting weaker, and you haven't noticed. The frightening part isn't falling. The frightening part therein, the fear of falling. A fear that makes people walk slower, move less, stay still, more warm. And the less you move, the weaker the legs become. It becomes a cycle, but it's a cycle you can break. I told Raymond something that I want to tell you today as well. That unsteady feeling isn't the end. It's simply your legs asking for gentle, consistent care. When you start losing trust in each step, listen closely. It's not a sign that age is defeating you. It's your body calling out for help, and at the same time giving you a beautiful chance to change course. Sign number 5, you're becoming afraid of standing up or sitting down. My friend, this is something I've heard from so many older patients, and every time it touches me deeply. James, I don't like getting up or sitting down anymore. I'm scared my knees won't support me. Fear rarely begins with a big pain. It usually begins with small moments of uncertainty, piling up over the years. I remember Lucille, 78 years old, small frame, gentle eyes, a soft voice. One day she said, James, I'm not in terrible pain, but every time I stand up, my legs feel unsure. And now I'm afraid of that moment. And I understood completely. It wasn't because she was weak. It was because her knees were quietly calling for help. When the knee joint starts to wear down or the surrounding muscles lose strength, even a simple motion like standing up becomes a challenge. Your body loses stability for a second or two, and suddenly you feel that little flash of fear. What if I fall? I always tell my patients, fear is the strongest signal your body gives when it needs reinforcement. Your thighs need more strength. Your knees need more lubrication. Your circulation needs a boost. Your body needs the care it's been waiting for. The beautiful part, when you care for your joints the right way, gentle morning exercises, proper nutrition, better circulation, that fear of standing up fades away like morning fog. And in its place comes confidence, stability, and a sense of, I can still do this. My friend, if you've ever hesitated while standing or sitting, treat it as a soft whisper from your body. Please take care of me a little more. Sign number 6, you're losing confidence in even the smallest movements. My friend, there is a signal that many people feel, but very few are willing to admit, that quiet loss of confidence. When you turn your body, step down a curb bend, to tie your shoes, or simply shift your weight. No sharp pain, no dramatic episode, no fall. Just a quiet thought inside, I'm not as sure of myself anymore. Raymond, 78 years old, once quick and agile, told me in almost a whisper, James, I don't know why, but even turning my body makes me feel unsteady. I'm not hurting, but I'm scared. And I understood exactly what he meant. Because many older adults aren't afraid of aging, they're afraid of losing control over their own body. This signal often comes quietly. The day you needed a handrail to stand, the moment your knee didn't follow your turn, the first time you walked cautiously because your legs felt hesitant, and slowly without realizing it, you start planning every movement, just to avoid losing balance. Let me tell you something important. This isn't your willpower fading. It's your joints, hips, and balance system gently asking for attention. They're saying, help me get strong again. Support me. Give me movement nourishment practice. And the most encouraging part, when you catch this signal early, your body still has remarkable capacity to recover. Confidence can return step by step, week by week, as long as you begin today. Sign number 7. You feel like you're not yourself in the way you walk. My friend, this is a signal few people talk about, but I see it often. It's not pain, not tingling, not stiffness. It's a subtle feeling that your walk doesn't feel like your walk anymore. I remember Gerald, 78 years old, who used to take morning conducts around his neighborhood. One day he told me, James, I'm not in pain, but it feels like my legs aren't coordinating the way they used to. My steps feel strange. I looked at him and saw more than concern in his eyes. I saw sadness, the quiet sadness that comes from a change you can't quite name. My friend, when your knees or hips weaken, your body adjusts without you noticing. You start stepping lower, slower, more cautiously. You may feel unsteady even if nothing hurts. You may feel not quite yourself. And the heartbreaking thing is, many people hide this feeling for years, not because they don't notice it, but because they're afraid. Afraid to admit they're getting weaker. Afraid of being a burden. Afraid of changes they can't control. Here's what I want you to know. Feeling like your walk has changed is not a failure. It's simply a gentle message that your body needs a bit more love. When I gave Gerald some simple hip and thigh strengthening exercises, 8 weeks later he returned with a bright smile. James, my walk feels like mine again. That moment wasn't beautiful because his joints improved. It was beautiful because he regained trust in his own body. My friend, if you ever feel that your steps are not the same, don't brush it off. Sometimes that is the most important signal your body sends. A final message from me to you. My friend, and now that we've reached the end of today's journey, I want you to take a quiet minute and simply feel your body. Every signal we talked about is not meant to scare you. It's meant to help you understand yourself, to understand the quiet changes happening inside, to understand that aging is not an ending, but a new chapter that simply asks for gentler care. After meeting thousands of patients over 3 decades, I've learned one beautiful truth. Our bodies always want to heal. They work tirelessly, quietly, faithfully, even when we think we're too old to change. All your body needs is for you to listen, to respond, to walk beside it, not ahead of it. If today's message brought you comfort, clarity, or simply the feeling that you're not alone on this journey, I warmly invite you to subscribe to Heal Fit Health, not for numbers, but so we can continue traveling together, video by video, lesson by lesson, helping you understand your body with compassion and confidence. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and let me continue walking with you on this path towards strength, calm, and healthier days ahead.